it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real with self. My eyes done seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real with self. My eyes done seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help.
Money, money, money. That's all he talks about.
There's nothing wrong with being wealthy.
I know he knows.
Like Kanye West says, having money is not everything, but not having it is. No, Deuteronomy 8:18 says God gives us the ability to create wealth.
Money is the root to all.
No, it's the love of money that's the root of all evil. If you don't like money so much, why don't you get up and go to work? Yes, I do think about all the things and you think you have to study it. I'm just trying to leave a legacy for my family. Money's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. And now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor to the working class, Mr. Ace Cortez. On YouTube, but let's go ahead and introduce to you guys this couple. Now, this young couple, they are young as in age, but they're also young as in only been married for 3 years. I got a beautiful set of twin boys that they are raising. They are doing everything that they can to bring financial empowerment to our community, being young leaders. And we're going to figure out from them how they are holding it all together, being entrepreneurs, being a married couple with two twin boys right at that age. We call it terrific two, right? Because we don't, everything is positive here on this show. So they're raising those young boys and figuring out life as a young couple. Here in America, trying to deal with capitalism, trying to deal with all of these social economic issues that we are faced with. They're being leaders in their community and trying to make an impact. See, they have decided they're going to leave a mark on this world and not a stain. So without further delay, let me introduce to you guys one of my favorite couples on the planet, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Top of the morning to you guys. How are you doing? And let me unmute yourselves real quick. Let's see. I might be able to unmute you as well. Let's see.
Okay, I got it.
There we go. There we go. So good morning, young lady. Good morning, young man. How are you guys doing this morning?
Good morning. We are feeling good. How are you?
I'm doing extremely well. I am so excited to talk to you guys. Been watching you guys from afar and see everything that you guys got going on. And then the other thing that I see is how well respected you guys are because of your hustle, man. And I love to sit down and rap with other hustlers to see how you guys do it, because I'm always learning, I'm always growing. So really quickly, tell us a little bit about the Mr. and Mrs. Smith story. Where did you guys get your start? How did you guys meet? When did you guys know that this thing was forever and not just for right now? Let's go into that whole story.
Okay. You want to kick us off, or you want me to?
You can go ahead and kick it off.
Okay, I'll start with how we met. So we both had our differences. We both came from different walks of life, so to speak. But we both felt like it was time for us to, further our education. What I mean by that is we started going to school, went to college. So here it is, we're in college, and we had a class together. And, that's where we met in college. But it was just funny because it was the first day we met, and we were both getting some things taken care of, going to the student center, and she felt as though I was following her because we kept crossing paths. So she was like, "Are you following me?" I was like, "Yep." I said, "No, I don't want you to think I'm crazy." And then she was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, it seems like you following me." And in my head, I was like, "Yeah, I got her." She not knowing what it was going to develop into. But it started in school. We had classes together, needless to say, we ended up becoming friends, and it developed into a relationship. That's my short version of how we met. I'm sure you got to
hear. Now, Angela, give us the real version.
He was most definitely following me, okay? He was. But, he was really smart in class. We were taking business classes. He was extremely smart. And I was smart, but I found myself kind of falling behind. So it went from just seeing each other in class to talking, developing a relationship, and then kind of doing homework together. and then that developed into something else. So that's really how it started. We dated for, what was it, 5 years? 5 years before getting married.
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. Cinco, you don't strike me. She just said you was really smart. You don't strike me as that slow. What took you so long, brother? What the heck is what's that? What is that with that?
Well, this is what it was. So we dated without a title for about a year. Then we had a title, for a certain amount of years, and we were engaged for a year. So that's
okay. It's starting to make a little bit more sense. But man, it don't take that long, man. When you get that thing figured out, man. I understand though. It was about 3.5, 4 years, with then we like each other between my wife and I, and then she said, okay, I do like you. So we will be together for a year. Then I proposed and we were engaged for a year and we finally tied. Like, good deal. So you guys got a lot going on, man. With twin boys at that terrific age of 2, right? How is life in the Smith household with 2 little crumb snatchers, as I call them, running around, man, and demanding, not asking, demanding all of your time? How does that work?
Yes. And, it's absolutely crazy when people ask us that, because you truly don't know the things that we do, the things that we sacrifice to really make our businesses work. A lot of people don't even know that we have individual businesses as well as we have our business together. Mm-hmm. We have, weekly appointments with the twins that we, go to every single week, a few days out of the week. We do conference calls every week. So for us, we just live by 2 words: no excuses. And we really don't make excuses. If one of our team members, if somebody needs us to speak or do an interview, we make it work. We make it work around our schedules. We make it work around them. We do have them on a schedule, but as well as I know, you can't put 2-year-olds, on a schedule. You just can't. But, we do it to the best of our abilities. We don't make any excuses. We have sitters, we have family, that we really rely on, and we really just make it work, right?
Absolutely. I like to say we are starting to learn to master the art of juggling.
Yes.
And basically, when you're juggling, you apply just enough attention to everything that you're juggling so everything stays afloat without it falling. So we're learning that art, and it's an ongoing journey for sure.
Our household is always crazy. All right. Every time we do a live video, if you notice, sometimes you hear them in the background. You might hear the TV going. Last night we did a training for some of our business partners, and we were literally back and forth, up and down the stairs, running. One person getting them quiet, the other person, doing the training. So we literally just make it work.
Yeah, good deal. And that's what entrepreneurship is. And I know a lot of people are on because they know that you guys are power couple. They know you guys are business and entrepreneurs. They know you guys are teachers and trainers and all that. But that's what entrepreneurs is. I saw a meme on Facebook not long ago that says entrepreneurs are the only people that jump off a cliff and build a parachute on the way down. Right?
Yeah.
You feel like that's how it is. So you said both of you guys have individual businesses. Now, I know about what you guys do together. So talk a little bit about your individual endeavors and how you guys make that work, as well as your joint venture that you have together.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start off. I'm actually a women's fashion designer. So I sew custom clothing, like literally anything from dresses to skirts to pants. I design and sew women's clothing. So I have my own local and nationwide clientele. And the way that I make it work outside of our financial business, where we help people financially, is literally scheduling. Scheduling plays a huge role. So we teach financial education. We might do that from 8 to 6. Then from 6 to 9, 10-ish, that's family time. We do dinner, we put the kids to bed, we read books, we do all of that good stuff. And then literally, believe it or not, I sew after we put them to bed.
Wow.
So I'm sewing, like I was telling you before the interview, I'm typically sewing from about 10 o'clock to maybe 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. and then we start all over again around 8 o'clock.
Gotcha. And what about you, Mr. Smith? So what do you do outside of the financial education piece? And we'll get into that a little bit later, but what do you do outside of that?
Okay, and outside of financial education, now it ties directly in. I'm also doing taxes, so that's a seasonal thing. I also do an event, which is an annual event, known as Relive Your Prom, basically an adult prom, giving people the ability to relive that. So that's seasonal, so I'm able to balance that. And then I have a passion for music, but I kind of put it on the back burner temporarily so I can focus more on the financial education. So mine is more seasonal, and I balance it, and certain things got to get put, to the side temporarily while you build that stream until it's flowing fully. Then you bring it back to life. So it's basically putting it to the side and bringing it back to life and balancing what's seasonal.
Got you. So tell us the name of your line, Angela. Go ahead and plug your stuff. Don't be shy.
Yes. The name of my line is Anjanelle, which is just a mixture of my first and my middle name, Angela Janelle. So it's Anjanelle, ANJANELL. I have a site, anjanelle.com. I'm on Facebook, Anjanelle Fashion. So those are the two sites that, I promote the most. So most definitely check me out for your wife.
And Janelle, okay, good deal. And we need, I was telling my wife, she needs someone to do custom stuff because she's 4'10" and a half, maybe 47. So all of her pants she has to cut off and then kind of fix them and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm like, and then she's shapely, so it's like nobody makes clothes for us. In that capacity, I'm like, you, shawty, need to do your own thing. There's a lot of women who are shaped like you, your size, and we could sew some things up. But so maybe we'll partner with Anjanelle and get some stuff happening. Good deal. So do me this favor. Normally we do around 20 after the hour. We do a daily quote. We're 26 after. So I know you have a favorite quote, Marcus, that you like to use. So we will let you do the daily quote for today. So what is that daily quote?
Okay, the daily quote, it actually came from Dennis Kimbrough. He wrote a book, and this kind of stuck with me. And it's basically, pray as though everything depends on God, but act as though everything depends on you. So it's kind of a rehashment of, faith without works is dead. Because you can have all of the faith in the world and you can pray all of the prayers that you want, but if you're not putting forth that action, then it'll never manifest. So I just love the idea of praying like everything depends on God, knowing that it's bigger than you, but at the same time you take action as if it all depends on you.
That's good.
Wow, that is good. So you guys know me, man. Today's daily quote was brought to you by Anjanelle.com. If you want clothing, she takes care of you all over the country, man. Right. And she sews from 10 o'clock to 4 in the morning. So you better go to Anjanelle.com or go to her Facebook fan page. Give her do me this favor. Go over to her fan page. Give her a like. Give her a word of encouragement and tell her the financial health mentor sent you guys over. That way she knows that you guys came because I asked you guys to. Good stuff, man. I love that quote, man, because let's do that. Let's transition into faith a little bit. I tell people all the time what I believe, right? I believe three things mainly. Number one, I believe that I'm a God under the Most High God, and that simply means that I am a creator just as He, and I am creating my entire world. So if it's upside down, I did that. Number two, I tell people that I believe that I can do all things, and all means all with a capital A, capital L, capital L, blank period, no questions asked. And then the third thing I believe is that everything the Son touches belongs to me. Or in other words, to put it biblically speaking, everywhere the soles of my feet tread have been given to me. And because I believe that way, I act a certain way, right? So when you have beliefs a certain way, they lead to the way you think. That leads to the words that come out of your mouth. That leads to the actions that you take. So talk about the role that faith and belief takes in your individual businesses, and then what you do collectively, and then how you sometimes have to get people to believe in themselves to move them to another level.
I love it. So I guess I'll kick it off.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you know, as it relates to the faith, you know, the faith has gotten stronger. First, it started off with just personal self-development, us reading certain books, us retraining our mind from the conditioning that we had once been under. So we realized that, you know, our thought process really had a lot to do with what we were attracting and the things that were taking place in our lives. Now, I'm just give you a little brief history of a scenario that pretty much strengthened our faith and how we've been able to share it with others and also apply it to our own lives. Many people don't know this, but our twins, they were born early. They were born prematurely. So they were in the hospital for 2.5 months in the NICU, the ICU, pretty much the neonatal ICU. So they were in intensive care for 2.5 months, so over 80-something days. So if you don't have faith during a time like that, when they're hooked up to all types of machines, if you don't understand that the power in your thoughts and positive thinking has to be at the highest level at that point, then I don't know what will. But that put us in a position mentally to where we had to keep good positive thoughts flowing, keep high faith, because, you know, in the eyes of the doctors, it was like life or death. So once we made it through that, we were able to understand, okay, that molded us, that made our skin thick, that made us understand the power of positive thinking, the power of faith, and how we applied it to our own lives is to maintain that same positive level of thinking, understanding that anything that we put our mind to or any outcome that we're seeking, if we think it and believe it, then it will manifest. So that's how we've been able to do as it relates to our business, financially, individually, and it all started from personal self-development, and then life challenged us to apply what we have been learning through the twins being born early. And now it's time to show up and practice what it is we have been preaching to individuals. So now when we share our story to our teammates, to our family, you know, we're not coming from a place that we can't relate or we don't understand what faith really means. We're coming from a place that we're very familiar with, and we just want to let them know, hey, things happen this way, but you have to keep this mindset, this mentality, in order to make things turn out the way that you know, that's favorable to you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely, that was well said. You know, that situation for us, it was a really, really hard time. You know, it was really hard for us to go through that because, in our opinion, you know, we had everything in order. We had our finances in order. You know, we were newly married. So for that to happen, you know, it really just hit us really, really hard. Had we not been just engaged in personal growth and development, I really don't feel like we would have made it, you know, through that situation. So my advice to anybody would definitely be to, listen and breathe personal growth and development. I mean, you can start with YouTube videos, you know, you can start with just, you know, at night listening to it, then transitioning into what you watch on TV, then transition into changing what you view on your phone, and then ultimately start reading books. You know, I was not a book reader. I was not a book reader at all. Like, you could not get me to read a book. And I'm serious. But getting with this guy, and, you know, he started with the personal growth and development, and then, you know, being engaged with our financial success company, that really started bringing in the personal growth and development. So faith plays a huge, huge role in whatever it is that you want to do. You have to learn to go with your first mind, make decisions. And my biggest thing is live with no regrets. Like, I don't regret anything I have ever done in life. I just, you know, call it cocky, call it what you want, but I don't regret anything that I have ever done or anything that I'm doing to this day.
Awesome. So that is good deal. So let's transition into the financials a little bit, because you guys are also known as a debt-free couple, right? I think one of the first things that I saw from you guys when I started paying attention to what you guys are doing is the buttons that you guys used to wear that says debt-free is the new sexy, or something like that. What did it say?
Yeah, debt-free is the new sexy.
Debt-free is the new sexy. So, and this is critically important, because when you think about your testimony, your story, your babies were in ICU for 5 months. We know what kind of bill that could create and what kind of avalanche of financial distress that can create. And we know that marriages end because of financial distress, but you guys talked about having that already together and squared away based on some things that you have been learning. So talk about your journey to becoming debt-free because you said you guys were in college. That comes with debt a lot of times. So talk about your journey to becoming debt free. How do you guys make that happen? And the how does it feel, right, to be debt free?
All right, you want to start it off?
Okay, cool. So this is really, how it all boiled down. Initially, I speak for me personally, I knew that, money was a powerful tool, but I didn't utilize it like I could have or should have. So it took me getting hit across the head, being exposed to some information, some education, and realizing, hold on, I'm making money, but I'm losing a lot of money. So the minute I realized what tweaks I can make, how I can minimize my taxes, I was able to take tax dollars and apply it to debt that I currently have, such as auto loans or credit card or her engagement ring at the time. I was able to take that extra money and knock out a lot of the debt that we had, which put us in a position to where ultimately once we got married, we were able to, have debt and savings together. And then, like you said, we were hit from a different perspective financially when the kids were in the hospital for 2.5 months. And at the time we had a job. So at the time I was, insurance played a huge role, but it transitioned us into realizing, okay, we have to be in a position at all times financially to where that, debt shouldn't be one of the things that are hindering us from providing, because now we have these 2 little ones and that really transitioned us to staying focused on keeping the debt out of the way and growing forward. But we also made another transition. I'm sure we'll get into that later in the interview. But yeah, that's really what the journey was. It was about us increasing our cash flow through minimizing taxes and just applying it to what we knew we had in the form of debt. And, the story goes on.
Yeah, and I was just going to add, when you think about what it is that we teach, the very first thing, like written behind you, is minimizing your taxes.
Right.
Okay, before the kids, the year before the kids, we were both working jobs. Okay, so we were able to successfully apply that strategy number 1 and minimize those taxes on 2 jobs. Now, mind you, when he first got started with this company, I was not for it. I have to be honest. I was like, it just doesn't make sense. He kind of dipped and dabbled with with a bunch of things. And so it didn't make sense. But once it made sense, we literally made no excuses and we took these strategies to heart. So we minimized our taxes. And once we started bringing in that additional income, we were literally beast moding our debt, like putting lump sums on our debt. We paid off literally everything, our credit card. We weren't really hit with a lot of college debt because we both had scholarships actually, as well as I think you had something else that you applied for as well. So we both had scholarships. And for whatever reason, college just didn't really work out for us. So we did not fully finish college, but we weren't hit with the college debt. For me, most of the debt was just making poor decisions. Having credit cards was my main thing. So I would have my paychecks and I would spend my paychecks, pay off my bills, and my extra money, I'll go shopping. Right. And then if I really see something I like, I'll swipe that credit card. So for me, it was just bad decisions. But, with learning these strategies, we minimized our taxes. We were extremely stern on paying off our debt. And ultimately, we did become debt free.
Yeah, see, I tell people all the time, man, and it sounds like you guys got this early on. You have to become a black ninja debt assassin, man.
Yes.
Debt is... I'd say debt is like special forces, Navy SEALs, Green Berets, all of that wrapped up into one. So if you're not a lethal killer yourself, debt will eat you alive, man. So I love it that you said you guys were stern with attacking that debt, man. And I love you for that, bro, because I tell the fellas all the time, there's no doubt in my mind, I can just look at you and tell, bro, that if somebody kicked in your front door and your wife and your baby's in there, it's going down. Right? But we have to see debt as the same sort of enemy attacking our family's legacy. And we sometimes we don't. So instead of debt having to kick the door down, we invited in. Oh, honey, you got me that big screen TV. Yeah, $25 a week for 500 weeks. Oh, nah, man, you got to, as fighters and protectors of our families, we've got to protect from those unseen dangers as well. And debt is kind of one of those unseen dangers that you have to protect from. So with that being said, you got debt out of the way. So now when it comes to financials, you want to start getting your money to work for you. And I see that you guys are building assets by investing into your business. What other things are you doing with money to make sure that those twins are going to be straight 25 years from now?
Well, we do invest in the stock market as well. We have a few different investment accounts on their second birthday, which was Thanksgiving last year. We actually opened them up some bank accounts so that we can start getting their investments in order and just kind of investing for them. So we have, several different investment accounts. We are very active, in the stock market, and we keep those payments coming regularly.
Gotcha.
Pretty much we treat it like, you treat it, once you get a flow of eliminating debt, you kind of keep that flow going. So you take that extra money that you were paying to something else, and then you start applying it to investment. So monthly, we may have some things going towards a retirement account, some type of mutual fund, a Roth IRA. Then we may have some other investments growing in the form of stocks or REITs, which is like a real estate investment. And it's doing pretty good as well. You just monitor it and you pay attention to what it's doing, and you just kind of study and go with the flow. And before you know it, you realize, wow, I'm getting better rates of return than I ever would have got by just leaving my money in the bank. But it all started with just taking the extra money that we were losing to debt and just continuing to place it in a better place where it can grow.
And of course, we're always thinking about assets. We're kind of addicted to assets.
Right.
So, this year we have big plans on, purchasing things that's going to continue to make money.
Yes.
All right, make money passively. So we're thinking about getting into like rental properties and things like that this year. So just a lot of big things to come.
Yeah, awesome. So and you talked about getting better rates of return, Marcus. Most people, when you talk to the general public about investing, two things come up. Three things come up. Number one, I don't have the money to invest. Number two, I'm scared to invest. And number three, I can't make any decent money investing because I only get, 2-3%, maybe 4% tops in some of the best investments out there. What would you say against people who have that mindset and that thought process? How can they overcome some of that stinking thinking?
I like it. Thinking. Well, really, first they got to understand that whether they invest or not, the same money that they made and the same money that they spent to another company, another entity, is being invested. So once they understand that and realize, hold on, somebody's going to make money off of my money by investing it, I might as well at least, take an attempt or make an attempt to try to invest. So once you understand your money is going to be invested, whether you do it or not, hopefully that'll help you get over that first hurdle.
Right.
And then secondly, to clear up the fear that's involved in investing, do your research. It's like anything else. You can look into it. A lot of this information is public. You can see how well certain companies were doing. You can see the history. You can even look up the holdings of other companies. And what I mean by that is we actually looked up our bank. So we bank with a local bank here in our state. We're in Arkansas. And come to find out, our bank is putting money in the pockets of their competitor. Like they're investing in Bank of America and investing in this grocery store and that. I'm like, hold on. So we're putting our money here and they're putting our money there. So it may be a good idea for us to put our own money in some of the places that they're putting money. You can see where people are putting the money, the rates of return that they've been able to get over the course of a certain amount of years. And it kind of pacifies you because you're like, okay, if they are comfortable enough to put their money here, then of course I should be okay with putting my money there. And that kind of helps tackle the fear, in my opinion.
And then let me just add, even though the question was for you, as far as you don't have the money, you do have the money. Minimize those taxes, start tackling that debt. That's where you're being robbed. Eliminate big businesses, which, we celebrate every single holiday, right? So if we eliminate those things, you do have the money to invest. You just don't really know where it is, and when you think about, statistically, in order for you to comfortably retire, you have to have about 10 times what you're making annually. How many people do you feel is really on track?
Right.
Okay, with retirement, which is why we see so many of our people working a job for 30, 40 years, retiring and going right back into the workforce because they don't have their money working for you. Investing is the best way for you to catch up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's mandatory.
Gotcha. It is mandatory. And I think one of my mentors said that you have to, he talked about investing. He said you eat every day, right? Then you should be investing every day. Yes. I love that. And then I think you hit the nail on the head, Angela. I think Marcus said, look into stuff, educate yourself on stuff, and that's how you overcome the fear, because you were fearful about a lot of things. But when you educated yourself about those things, then that reduced the fear, right? Because I think my wife put a meme up yesterday that says building wealth is not about avoiding risk, it's about managing risk, right? You're going to have risk in anything that you do, but it's up to you to understand how to manage that risk and not just try to avoid it altogether. So I'm loving this, guys, this morning. You guys have a wealth of information. So let's get a little bit personal without going too personal. This is where I need your help, Cinco, right? Balance, man. Where do you find a balance between family? So I say it like this. I'm often trying to make sure that I'm an excellent father and an excellent husband at the same time. Sometimes I'm a good father and an excellent husband. Other times I'm an excellent husband and an okay father, right? How do you get to a place where you're doing both of them exceptionally well at the same time? Where do you find that balance?
Okay. Now, that definitely does require balance. And a lot of times it easily spend a lot of attention focusing on one area and not realizing that, it is like a seesaw. If you're applying more weight in one direction, you may be losing weight in another direction. So it all starts with just, first of all, being aware. Okay, what have I not done that I can do to, spend more time with the kids? And then as I'm doing that, if I lose sight of the fact that, hey, I'm still a husband as well, then I gotta, make sure I'm doing something on that end. And a lot of times where I'm able to find the balance is if I do certain things or more things with the kids or for the kids, then it helps relieve some of the things that she has to do. So it kind of works hand in hand. So me relieving her of certain stresses that, may take place from being around the kids all of the time allows me to also be being a good husband because she appreciates, that assistance. And likewise, as it relates to paying certain attention, acknowledging, noticing certain things, because it's really bigger than, money. A lot of times we feel like we have to buy certain things. Time invested is definitely well worth it, but you have to be open to different things in different ways and be creative. So I find myself getting creative in ways to impress her or keep her attention, even if it's, just funny things around the house. But, just really just being aware and just acknowledging it and tackling it the best way you can. It's just one of those things, man.
Gotcha.
And date nights too. Yeah, we definitely have maintained a good consistent flow of date nights, which happens, it was on Fridays, but we just looked at our schedules and Sundays tend to work better. And that date night is something, it gives us something to look forward to on a weekly basis. So we're like literally when Friday comes, Saturday comes, we're like, yeah, we got date night. Sunday, that gives us something to look forward to, and it pretty much gives us additional balance, like none other.
Okay. And then how about from you, Angela? You are sewing clothes from 10 to 4 in the morning, all of that kind of stuff. So how do you find the balance to, okay, I got to be mom, but I got to be wife. I got to get this family together. I got to be business partner. Then I got to be solo CEO for my own business. How do you find the balance to make it all work?
Okay, for me, I think the balance more so comes in scheduling. I am a scheduler, Cortez. Okay, listen. I will schedule everything. Like if we have something to do the following day, I'm like, okay, we got to get up 3 hours early. My hair takes this long. My face takes this long. I literally schedule everything out. Like I'm a little bit insane when you think about it, but I literally schedule everything. And I tell people this all the time because it wasn't always so clear. I'm very punctual. I love being on time for things. But never really the type to schedule out my full day. Being around, wealthy people and other entrepreneurs and mentors, they actually got me to the point where I reevaluated things. So for me, scheduling is key. I say for anybody, look at the things daily that you just don't want to budge on. And I'll give you an example because you might not know what I mean. For us, we will not budge on putting our kids to bed every night, reading books to them, putting them in a tub. Their whole routine, we don't want to miss out on that at all. So that goes onto the schedule first, kids. Then, of course, we have the date night. Actually, date night goes on the schedule first. I don't sew. We don't work on that day. On Sundays, we don't work at all. None of our businesses get any attention, maybe for about 1 hour on Sunday. But other than that, it is all about us. It's all about, the family. So you put that on the schedule. So every single week, and every single day, you want to put family time on the schedule. You want to put, your significant other on the schedule, and then you work your businesses around that. It's so important that you balance all of these things because, when you think about it, you're working hard for your significant other. You're working hard for your children, to give them a better life, to leave wealth, to leave an inheritance for your children and your children's children. So all of that has to be factored in. Like I literally schedule the time I start cooking dinner, the time we eat dinner, the time, like I am serious. It's all worked into the schedule. And another thing, just a recommendation, for you and your wife that we did on one of our date nights was we were introduced to the 5 love languages. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but it's just a quick little survey that you can do online. So just, you go off to yourself and do the survey. She go off to herself and do the survey. And then you compare your results. And this is a way that you can really see, okay, what is it that he likes? Is he, is he the type of person that likes gifts? Does he like quality time? Does he just like for me to be nice and funny? So we did that one date night, and I think it really helped us to understand each other and how to kind of appeal and cater to one another.
Yeah, that is powerful. That is powerful. My love language is words of affirmation and physical touch. So she has to hold my hand when we're out in public. That makes me feel loved. She has to affirm me all the time. But see, and it's funny because hers is acts of service. So hers is acts of service. So when I want to grab her hand when we're out, like, because that's foreign to her because that's not how she likes to receive love. So that is a very, very powerful book and very powerful concept. So I love that you said a couple things that really hit home with me that I'm going to have to implement. I know you said schedule time for your significant other. Put that in the schedule. Put that on the calendar. Then you said, don't work on one day of the week, man. You have to have a day that you don't work. And I love that idea. I've got to figure out how to implement that because that seems like it would definitely work because then I can give my boys 3 or 4 hours. I give my honey 3 or 4 hours and maybe an hour to the business when they go to sleep or something like that. That is powerful. I love that whole concept. And definitely for you couples out there, and not just for your couples, everybody should understand the 5 love languages because guess what? Those same love languages are for your children too. See, I shared with this on the show yesterday or the day before that one of my son's love language is gifts. One of them is words of affirmation. So on Christmas, I can give him a speech and he's fine. But if I get the other one a speech, he's like, "Nah, Jude, where's my presents?" Because gifts is his love language. That's how he feels that I love him. I can't tell him I love him. Words of affirmation is my love language. I tell my wife I love her all the time, but that's not how she receives love. So I have to do things for her. So I'm starting to get it. I appreciate you guys saying that. So let's look at Facebook. Any questions, guys, for the power couple, man? If anything we didn't cover, we covered a lot of stuff. But starting now, I'm going to start looking at the thread for any questions that you have for this wonderful young couple, man. I am so proud of you guys. You guys are doing some amazing, amazing things. And what I love about what you do is because of the business that you guys are running, you guys are in the public eye, so to speak, with social media and all that, and you are setting a wonderful example of how a loving couple and a loving family should behave. And this is something that we're trying as an organization to model throughout the entirety of the Black community and the world as a whole. So Carvel said, what was that survey again? Do they have a website for the 5 Love Languages survey?
Yes, I don't remember the actual site, but if you just type in on Google 5 Love Languages survey, it'll pop up.
Yeah, so Google 5 Love Languages survey, Carvel, and you can get that survey done. All right. Say, do you guys do workshops on everything you do? That's from Ray J out of St. Louis.
Really, workshops only on finance.
Only on finances right now.
I'm thinking about doing little things here and there, teaching sewing classes, but haven't really jumped into it just yet.
Right. So tipping point, right? where there's a need, right? Yes. where there's a void, you got to fill it. Good deal. Let's see, what else do we have? Anybody else? Questions from Facebook? I love it. Yes, Ray J, good question. She's one of our regulars on the show every morning. So talk a little bit about, we've gone over faith, we've gone over finances, we've gone over the romance and the date night. Where did the entrepreneurial bug come from? Because you said he dabbled in a lot of stuff early on, so you kind of knew he had it. This particular adventure you wasn't so excited about, but did you have the entrepreneurial mindset and just not down with this endeavor, or were you not an entrepreneur at all and he kind of pulled you up to that level?
I think I had a little bit of the mentality, but not a whole lot. I have to be honest. One of the things for me, I worked a job. I'm not that old, but I worked the same job for 8 years, and I hated my job. I didn't really like going to work every single day. I didn't think that was life. Going to work, answering somebody. My parents can tell you I have never been the type of person that likes being told what to do. I do not like being told what to do. So they said they knew I had it all along. But I honestly think that my husband brought it more so out of me. Especially because when college didn't work out, the reason why college didn't work out for me personally is because it started to conflict with my work schedule. Go figure. It started to conflict with my work schedule. And so it came down to, okay, you can either work your job or you can go to college. And I chose to work my job, so I had to leave college alone. He knew my passion was clothing. He could tell by the way that I dressed, by the way that I talked, that my passion was clothing. So what he did for me, he found a fashion school here in Arkansas and said, hey, I found this school. Did you know it was here? I think you should go in for an interview. So I went in, I interviewed, I got enrolled in the school, and I literally learned because I knew the basics of sewing. I knew how to sew by hand. That's what my mom did. But I didn't know how to operate a machine and things like that. So with him finding the school for me and, encouraging me to get enrolled in the school, I was able to go straight through. It did not conflict with my work schedule. I even picked up 2 jobs and was, going to fashion school at the same time, but that was just my drive. So I feel like I had it, but he really pulled it out and tugged and introduced me to personal growth and development. And, together it's just been insane. Gotcha.
What about you, Marcus? Always, I'm going to tell you, you strike me as somebody like me. When I was old enough to push a lawnmower and wield a rake, man, I've been getting it since. So tell me the stories of you cutting grass, raking leaves, shoveling snow, cleaning garages, right?
Absolutely. Hey,
all right.
I was cutting grass. I was raking leaves, cleaning parking lots. Before I was of age to do so, I was actually stocking alcohol. They hired me under the table to do certain things, my services, and it all started early. So I knew that I wanted to do something for myself, but I just didn't really know that entrepreneurship was an actual profession. So had I had somebody to harness that energy in me earlier, I would have knew. I would have been able to fine tune it. And that ended up gravitating to me doing music, me being an artist, me rapping. So I was doing like rapping I was like 13 or 14, writing music. So I had that bug of knowing that I could be bigger, I could be great, I could do certain things, but I just didn't understand that it was an industry for it. So I ended up working a job, and I was there for 10 years, but I always felt incomplete. I always felt like I was being controlled or dictated or not doing something that really was me, so it just never felt fulfilled. Every day felt like a rerun. So, we just took that jump, that leap. And it started with financial education, understanding that leaving your job is really not based on age. It's based on money. It's based on stability. It's based on, you getting certain financial things in place so you can pursue whatever it is that you want to do. So it started, that gave me the foundation and the mindset, getting around the right people, but I always had it in me. I just had to, get that understanding that, okay, this is an industry. Other people are tapping into it. How do you make it happen and apply it to your life going forward? So
I think he went light on you because he has some stories.
Yeah.
He really has some stories. He used to throw parties and stop mailboxes, and he got some stories for you.
Yeah. So I mean, just grinding, man, just trying to find our way, man. And you know what? I think all men have that, right? It's just, now, it's dormant in a lot of men because it's been beaten out of a lot of us because of the society that we live in. But all men intrinsically know that I've got to provide, and all I have to do is produce, period. What I produce don't make no never mind. I just got to produce, right? And as an entrepreneur, we produce valuable products and services that solve problems. But at the end of the day, we produce. Right? And that's what a man is called to do. So we got a question from Sherry Sweet. She says, any advice for new people starting a business? And I think she may be talking about the financial education business. Any advice for new people getting started as financial educators?
My advice would be to engage in personal growth. I keep saying that, and it's so funny that I say it because, again, that was not me. That was not me at all. But I say, change your circle. If you are going to be a business owner, you need to be around like minds. You need to be around other entrepreneurs. You need to be around other business owners. For two, no excuses. All right. You need to work your business just as hard as you would grind for a job. Because now you're building something for yourself. You're building your own wealth. You're not building somebody else's. You want to be consistent in your business. Again, just like you are with your job. You wake up at 8 o'clock, you go in at 9, you stay all day, you have a lunch break. You need to be just as consistent for your business, even if that means, 12, 14-hour days. It's worth it to build your own wealth. Cut off the cable, the cable, the radio, and literally turn your car into a mobile university.
Absolutely.
You need to be listening to things that's going to empower you. And just lastly, understand that it is going to be hard. It's different because all we know is a job. It is going to be hard, but you have to keep it moving. Keep it moving.
Absolutely. And my tidbit, and that's definitely true. It's going to be hard, but that's one of the exciting things in life, not knowing what to expect, kind of just going with the motions and tackling things as they come. That's exciting. But what I want to say is, and it kind of came from, a mentor who pretty much says, a lot of people are in business, but the business isn't in them. So what I mean by that is when you start applying the things that you're learning, say it's financial literacy, financial education, apply the things that you're learning. Once you apply the things that you're learning, you'll get the results that you're seeking to the point where you have a testimony and it's personal. So now the business is in you and nobody can tell you that it doesn't work because you've applied it, because you've seen the results, because you have the testimony. And once you created that within you. Now it's a culture that you're creating within yourself, and you can easily share. It doesn't require a lot of effort. You're not having to think or figure it out because you're sharing your life story, your testimony, and it's power in that. So application is key. Get the results, get the testimony, and share what it is that you're doing, and that grows and magnifies. And then you look up and you realize, wow, I know more than I knew a year ago. And it all started by me applying it and being consistent and applying everything she said. And, it just develops from there.
Exactly. Awesome. That's one of the first core commitment for my team is you have to be a product of the product.
Yes.
Have to be a product of the product. Don't just talk it. And I did this for the longest because I was so entrepreneurial minded that I was just focused on building. And I wasn't using strategy. And I'm like, wait a minute, these strategies flat out work. So I developed a core commitment list of 8 things that we do as a team. And the first thing is be a product of the product. Implement the strategies in your life, man. It starts there. But good deal. Say cut the cable off me. And mobile university, I be telling everybody all the time, you say mobile university, I say downtime university. In my car, I do have a radio, but it's never on. And sometimes I did a show a couple weeks ago, and I called it "Sit Your $$ down somewhere," basically meaning it's okay to be still and enjoy the quiet moment sometimes. Yes. We all know people who, if you get in their car, the radio is blasting, you go into their house, there's a TV on in every room because they're running from that quiet time because that still voice convicts you to doing what you know you need to be doing. So definitely, guys, take your downtime and turn it into learning time. If you're standing in line somewhere, you could be reading a book, a magazine, listening to something. I was like you, Angela. I wasn't a reader until I learned that billionaires read 5 books a month. So I said, okay, I can start reading 5 books a month. But I was the audio person. So I would do the audio books. I would do the lectures. And when I was investing in myself, and a lot of people say I don't have money to invest in myself, man, at the time, we had 5 gigs to share as a family. I think we had 4 lines, and I had got turned on to the YouTubes. I was listening to the Dennis Kimbros, the Kiyosakis, and all of these people have free lectures on YouTube, right?
Yes.
I was eating up 5 gigs myself because I was at the job. I was plugged in, doing my work, but I was listening. I was feeding. And I think it was Corey Briggs who said, at some point, you have to empty your wallet to fill your mind so you can later empty your mind to fill your wallet. And I think that's what we are. We've learned personal growth and self-development. We've learned wealth-building strategies. And it costs us money to learn that stuff. But now we're able to pour that stuff out of our brains to make a difference and make income. So with that, we are a little bit past the hour, but I'm okay as long as you guys are okay. Yes. So anything else that we didn't cover? Tell me something funny about him, Angela, and then Marcus, tell me something funny about her without getting too personal. Right?
He is a goofball. Like some of the things that we joke around. We play all day. We argue and then we play again. And then, we joke around and we just play all day. He is, really a goofball. That's just one of the funniest things to me. We can be having a serious conversation and he may just burst out laughing and bust a joke in the middle of the conversation. So that's just something cute and funny about him.
Absolutely. And that just goes to, us having fun, because we got to appreciate these moments, you never know. Laughing is healthy. So I goof around a lot. And she's right there with me. We like, one of the things is, we like surprising each other, and we also like pranking each other, So one time I'm gonna tell you a prank that she got me on, because we do a lot of pranking, we do a lot of playing around, but that keeps the relationship whole. So sometimes we got to do it even more just to kind of, it's fulfilling to us. But this is a prank she did. She know I love cereal. She know I love peanut butter cereal, to be exact. Something about peanut butter or whatever. So Reese's Puffs is one of my favorite cereals. So what she did is I had some Reese's Puffs. and I was about to make some cereal. And I'm not sure exactly how it played out, but all I know is when I was about to pour that bowl of cereal, all the cereal fell out the bottom of the box. I was like, hold on. Not my favorite cereal. You know, not my favorite. Like, it would have been all right if it was my favorite cereal. I looked at it, I'm talking about it's probably cereal still under the oven to this day.
Wow.
When she pranked me. But really what she did was she bought some off-brand version of that cereal, and that was the cereal that fell on the floor. But she
poured it in the Reese's box.
Yeah. So she preserved the real cereal.
Gotcha.
So I'm still able to get my favorite cereal. So that was one of the pranks she got on me. It was just, so funny. But yeah, we have a lot of fun play around there.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. So let me do a couple things, right? So you gave us business tips, right? Give us a couple relationship tips, right? That's one of them. I heard you say you gotta have fun with each other. That is important. So I'm right taking mental notes on that. Okay, have more fun with my wife. Got it. All right. Give us a couple more relationship tips that you would say. You guys are newly married, but you guys have been together for a while. What were some of the things that you guys did early on that you, Angela, made sure he still does? Because as fellas, once we get you, all right, got it. Then we have to fall off on some of those things. But what are some of the things you guys did early on that you guys are still doing to this day that keeps you guys falling in love with each other every day?
I think for me, two things. I'm a really, really honest person. I feel like for any relationship to thrive, you have to talk. No matter how you're feeling, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether you irritated me when you said this or you did this, I'm really, really honest. And I put everything out there on the table. You don't even have to ask me how I'm feeling, because I might just be like, hey, look, this is, a little edgy.
Right.
But I have been very, very honest from the very beginning. So I kind of wear my emotions on my sleeves. One of the things that I did to reel him in, to hook him in, was cook. I love to cook. It's just another talent that I have. I come from a really, really big family. I don't know if I ever shared this with you, but I have 15 brothers and sisters.
Oh, wow.
Same mom and dad. And so my mom cooked all the time. And so that's where I get it from. So that's one of the things that I did to reel him in. I still do it to this day. Some days I might cook breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, because that's the true way to his heart, is through his meals. And one of the things that he's been doing from day one that I feel that he's kind of continuing to do for me, I love simple acts of service, acts of kindness. So he opens the doors, almost everywhere we go. He doesn't let me carry heavy things, just being a gentleman. So that's one of the things that I'm, really attracted to.
Good deal.
And for me, like she said, she started off saying, being honest is excellent, but also listening is excellent. So when you listen, you learn about the individual and you figure out where you can do certain things in order to make the scenario better. So I've been learning to compromise. That's really what the relationship has been about on my end. I had my ways. I was set in my ways as a male. And, and as it relates to being serious about a relationship, you got to compromise and cut certain things out. But that all started with me listening and paying attention. And this is something that, I just thought about as she was talking. We both came into the relationship two different ways, but it helped out. And this is what I mean. As it relates to trust, I typically give zero trust. I don't trust anybody. Especially when it came to females at my time, I knew how females were or could be based on the ones I've encountered or attracted, whatever the case may be. So I never had trust for females because I didn't want to be that guy that was, that got done a certain way. So I went to our relationship, right, because I knew what I was capable of. So I was like, let me go into this relationship, zero trust, you got to earn it. So she earned trust throughout our relationship through me, and I was paying attention. She went through certain tests she didn't even realize she was going through, and she earned 100% of my trust. And on the flip side, she gave me 100% of her trust, and her thing is just don't lose it. So it's like some kind of way we were able to meet to where we both had each other's trust, and that all took place by us paying attention to each other, being aware. And if I just had to give that recommendation to another couple, find whatever it is that, find whatever your position is. If you have a person to earn trust, if that's your method, cool, it works. If you give away your trust and then they just can't lose it, use that. But most importantly, listen to what it is they're saying, because they speak in different ways through actions and verbally. And just, pay attention, make the adjustments, and then just go from there.
Awesome. My man Curtis said, and this is why we're so different. Curtis said, good stuff, priceless information. You can't get this info on Susie Orman or Susie Orman or Dave Ramsey show, and you can't. So yes, we're talking money in the morning, but for us as Black people, and this is no disrespect to anybody who's not Black, but as Black people, everything is all inclusive with us. Everything. So there is no separating one from the other. So yes, you do get love and relationship on a financial show. So really quickly, that was, you guys did the business piece. That was the relationship piece. Now give us a couple of tips on parenting piece. Now, I'm not trying to learn that new. My youngest is 15, but there may be some people out there who haven't gotten any, and he's the youngest of 5. So I had 5 sons, and I raised 2 other boys with them going, through high school. So I had 7 boys came to this house, and I can't wait. He's a freshman, 3 more years. Get your butt out of here, right? So give us a couple parenting cues that we can take from it. And you guys, you only been at it for a couple years, but I'm sure you learned some stuff in these couple years. So parenting twins in particular, that's not something that a lot of people have to do, but I did. My youngest 3 are so close together that I was changing diapers for 5 straight years.
Oof.
5 straight years, because he's 18, 17, and then 15. So literally, they forced each other into potty training. All right, man, I ain't buying diapers for you and you. Right? I ain't buying diapers for you and you. You get your butt on the potty. So 5 straight years, man, I was changing diapers, man. So give us a couple parenting tips for some of the young parents out there.
Yes, and it's so funny that you say potty training, because with twins, it is so difficult, difficult. But my parenting tip, especially with the kids being in the hospital for the 2.5 months, the nurses and the doctors, they kind of have their own view of premature kids, and they like to tell you what your children can't do or won't be able to do, opposed to saying, look, when they make it, they'll be able to do this, this, and this. So one of my main tips is, do not let anybody tell you what your children can and can't do. Wow. You have to be their number one supporter. You have to put that faith in, speak affirmations, and speak life into them. Nobody should be able to tell you what your kids can and can't do. We give our kids a lot of attention. Sometimes, we feel a little bad because we do quite a bit of work, and, we may not give them as much attention as they need. But there are things that we do with them, and we make sure, as I stated, that there are certain things that we don't miss, because they are here with us 24/7, 24/7, because we work from home. We make sure that we're the ones teaching them everything that they need to know. Our kids are 2. I've been putting up little videos, of them saying sight words and them counting to 10 frontwards and backwards, just little things that we're teaching them, because it does start at home. So give them the attention, know the signs. Sometimes we might be on conference calls or interviews back to back to back, and you can tell Mason is like, hold on, another call? I need you to, slow down. So just know the signs. And that's another reason why you really have to, if you are an entrepreneur, you need to designate and work into your schedule time for just them. So those are my tips.
Absolutely. I love it. And you actually took mine. But yeah, pouring into them is heavy. Pouring into them is heavy, because it was some times that we had to overcome odds, still overcoming odds, but we know they're going to do just fine. And we have to instill that in them, and then also lead by example by showing them, because they're picking up stuff now. You know, they're able to see. A lot of times, you know, we don't realize it because they're young, but they are wet cement, literally. So you definitely have to listen and pay attention to the ways that they seek your attention. Most of the time when they do certain things, it's really just them wanting attention. Once you acknowledge that, then you're able to overcome it. So, you know, just to kind of piggyback, you know, pour into them, pay attention to the signs, and then more importantly, make sure you're leading by example, because they are paying attention at such a fragile young age to what it is that you're doing. So definitely by example, and don't be opposed to getting tips from other parents. Like we're quick to ask, you know, so what did you do about this area, potty training here, or when they were this age, you know, because it's other people who have done it. We're not the first ones, so we don't have to learn it all on our own. Now, prematurity, their birth was new to everybody that we encountered, but we encountered it and it wouldn't have been presented to us had we not been able to handle it. But other than that, the things that we can ask people about, we're quick to ask questions. How did you do this? How did you do that? And we're open to suggestions, and then we apply it into our life. So never be closed-minded to what someone else can teach you about parenting, but at the same time, pay attention and instill good things in them. They need it now more than ever and going forward, especially in our Black society.
And one more thing I want to add real fast, is this: pay attention to your spouse when it comes to parenting. With having twins, it's really, really difficult. Having one kid is difficult, but if you see, like with me, I get overwhelmed fairly quickly. So if I get overwhelmed, he knows, okay, it's time for me to step in. Let me relieve her really, really fast so she can woosah. So pay attention to your spouse as well, because a person just being overwhelmed nonstop, that can cause other problems in your relationship in parenting alone.
Good point.
Gotcha. Good deal. So man, that is critical. You talked about speaking life into your children. Man, I love that, because I know people who get agitated if someone says a curse word around their children, but then they turn around and curse their children all freaking day long, right? So you can't say SHIT in front of my kids, but I'm gonna tell them, go sit your dumb self down somewhere.
Right.
There's a difference between cussing and cursing. So you talk about speaking life into your children. Last topic. Well, I got two more things, and then I'll let you guys go. Number one, so we talked about parenting, we talked about relationships, we talked about business, and you mentioned, Marcus, getting advice from other people when it comes to parenting. That leads me down the road to mentorship. How big of a role is mentorship played in your lives, in your business life? Sounds like you got some mentors for your parenting. I'm sure you got some relationship mentors. How big of a role has that played in your guys' lives, and how does it help you stay grounded and keep your thing moving forward?
Huge. Good question. Huge role, because really mentorship started earlier than we realized, you know, and it's really conditioning, because we're paying attention to what we're learning and what environment that we're in. So that being said, as a youth, you know, I didn't know I was being mentored by my parents when I noticed certain things, whether I liked them or disliked them. So once I was exposed to me in association, basically what I associate with and who I associate with has the ability to affect my thought process and the things that I do, which also lead to my actions. That's when I was able to realize, okay, I need to seek mentorship or guidance, even if it's from someone who I don't know or haven't met physically. So mentorship has really shaped me into realizing the power that I have within me, the power that I can instill in others, the power that I can instill in my children, the ability to, you know, positively have an effect on my wife. And it all starts with me reading, listening to audio, and engaging in seminars and conferences and things of that nature. So mentorship is ongoing and it's critical, and it's an ongoing thing. And I mean, it's everything. It's the reason I'm in the direction that I'm heading, and it'll also have an effect with the directions that I tend to take going forward. So mentorship is all around us. You have to surround yourself with those that you want to, you know, learn from, and then ultimately you'll mentor someone else. So mentorship plays a double role. You're learning, you're growing, but at the same time you reach back and you mentor and grow someone else because you were once in that position as well, or something similar. So it plays a role on both ends. I'm gaining, but I'm giving. I'm gaining, but I'm giving. So mentorship is everything.
Yes, and I think, you know, just for me, simply put, you can't do anything alone. You know, somebody has been where you're trying to go. So you have to be open-minded to just learning from a person who's exactly where you want to be, who's making the amount of money that you want to make, who knows the things that you wish to know. So you can't do it alone. You need a mentor, period, point blank.
Gotcha. Last thing, favorite book.
Okay, I just read and finished at the end of last year. This is my new favorite book. It is From the Trash Man to the Cash Man by Mr. Myron Golden.
Okay.
That book, I can read that book every day. I can read that book every month over and over and over again. It talks about asset accumulation, personal growth, literally, gives you steps on creating wealth. So that's definitely my favorite to this day.
Okay. And it's hard for me to just narrow it down because I got a lot of favorites.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give two good ones. I love the 4 Agreements because it works on, you know, how you personally deal with yourself. It's 4 different things that you want to abide by and apply into your life, and it helps you deal with your emotions. It helps you deal with other people. It helps you realize that, you know, you have to do certain things in order to, you know, really obtain the things that you want. But I gotta say, this is my favorite, and I'm gonna start out, and people are gonna think they know what I'm saying, but Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. I love that one. Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. That's by Dennis Kimbro. So it takes what we know from Napoleon Hill with Think and Grow Rich, but it applies it to us and gives story and give mindset. That book,
right.
I read that book raggedy. Like, I still have highlights all in that book, and I'm going to refer to it every so often because I got so much value from it. And each time I read certain highlights from it, you know, I pretty much get something new that I didn't get originally. But Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice is a must read for every household. Yes. Yes. That's it right there. So yeah, we eye to eye. We there.
Yeah. It is, man. And like I said, because everything is all inclusive with us, and people don't realize that Napoleon Hill was doing the same thing with Black millionaires, right? And that's how the manuscript fell into Dennis Kimbro's lap, and that's how he ended up doing A Black Choice with the permission of the Napoleon Hill Foundation. So really, really cool stuff. So let everybody know how they can get a hold of you guys. And somebody on here just said, hey, have they written a book yet? Tipping point.
Right.
Everybody know how they can get in touch with you guys, your websites, if you got phone numbers you want to give out. How can they reach you if they want to partner with you and learn your financial strategies that got you debt free? No holds barred. Promote whatever it is that you guys got going on. Let people know how they can be involved.
Okay, the best way, and this will lead you to everything that's coming and everything that has been, is on Facebook, our like page. If you type in facebook.com/The Debt Free Couple, it'll take you to the Mr. and Mrs. Smith like page. We're very active there. We have 100%, response rate on that page. We're doing videos. We're letting you into our lives. We're also feeding into you, but at the same time, it'll take you on the journey that we're going. So we let you know when we're traveling. We let you know when we're doing things from home or things that the kids are doing, and any websites or ongoing things that we have going. So I'm going to just keep it simple. Facebook.com/The Debt Free Couple, and you'll be able to access everything and go from there.
Yeah, everything is on there. The contact information, email, everything is on that page.
All right. So do I dare put you on the spot? April 29th, St. Louis.
Ooh.
April 29th.
April 29th.
Think about it.
We want to come to St. Louis. We actually have a couple of partners there, so we need to
think about it. All right, you guys heard it. They are at least thinking about it. April 29th, we're going to do a little Super Saturday deal, man, and see if we can't get the debt-free couple to come do a little teaching for us, man. So with that, I appreciate you guys so much. You guys don't know how much I love and admire you. I've been watching you guys for a couple years from afar, and it's like, man, that's a perfect example of what we need to hold up in high esteem of what a Black family could be and should be. And hopefully we can get more people to model it because you guys are doing a wonderful job as parents, as husband and wife, as business owners, entrepreneurs, as leaders in the community. So we appreciate you. And I know I'm not the only one. I see all their hearts and the stuff going up because, people just appreciate you guys so much. So any parting words before you guys get out of here? Anything, last thing you want to say I didn't ask and something was on your mind? Anything You know, if you guys want to do 1, 2, 3 royalty, you can do that if you want to.
Well, no, the one of the things that I just want to say is, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, always do it with good intentions and with a pure heart. Whether it's business, whether it's parenting, whether it's your relationship, your intentions need to be good, and do it with a pure heart. That's all I have.
Absolutely. And the getting is in the giving. You know, what you give out to the world, you definitely receive. What you think you will attract into your life. But really, what I just want to use this opportunity as is to just thank you, you know, for having us on. You know, we see you. You've been consistent with putting in work. You went through your transitions from the YouTube to the car videos to having a daily show that people wake up and look forward to. We salute and applaud everything that you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're interviewing a lot of people, and you're really just being genuine. You're being you. You're not, you know, fabricating yourself. You can always tell somebody who's trying to be someone versus really being them, and just teaching what it is that they're learning. So, you know, that from the heart, reach the heart, man. I salute everything you're doing. And it's funny that, you know, we just encountered each other in Atlanta, and it's funny that, you know, you received the Mentor to Millions award, and I felt like it was well deserved. And we had just received it the previous year. So it's like we're back to back Mentor to Millions recipients, and we're coming together on this live stream. But I know it's the beginning of something special. I know this is just the beginning, like you said, April 29th. It's definitely in mind. So I love it. I salute you, brother.
Yes,
appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Not a problem, man. I love you guys for taking an opportunity to come on and share with our audience. So with that, guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's Talking Money in the Morning, the first ever Power Couple Speaker Series. Give it up, you guys, for Mrs. and Mrs. Marcus and Angela Smith. I am your main man, H. Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community, where I do my best to bring practical, proven, wealth-building strategies to working men and women all over this great nation of ours. Until I talk to you guys tomorrow, I want you to do me a favor and get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. Peace out, people.